Hey guys, okay, so if you're wondering why this video is happening, it's because I live in Michigan and this tends to happen a few months out of the year. So let's go inside the shop and explain to you what I'm going to talk about. Alright, so I'm going to talk with you guys today about how I heat my shop, and I do that with an RV furnace. Now, I did shoot a video of the install of this when I did it a couple years ago, but there was problems on YouTube and the video ended up getting deleted. I lost all the footage, so I'll give you guys kind of a detailed step first on how I installed mine, which should give you guys a good idea on how to install one for yourselves if you want. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little more specifics of the size of my shop, how much propane I use, and all that kind of stuff, and some safety features along the way, and what I wish I would have did a little bit different. So buckle up and stay tuned. Okay, now you can hear it on right now. The propane tank, don't stick your fingers in there, propane tank underneath. I also use this, but we'll talk about this later. I just want to give you a detailed instruction on how to install one of these in your small shop. The first thing that you want to do if you're going to get a furnace is try to get one that you can take out. That way you know what all of the wires are, and then you can take any pieces that you think you may also need. Also make sure to get one with a thermostat. Mine I got off of Marketplace and I didn't have the option of labeled wires or anything like that, so I ran into that problem. So anyways, if you can, you can. Also, one other thing of advice is when you pull it out, see if you can get the other side of the exhaust to come with it, and I'll show you why in a second. But when you're laying this out, keep in mind where you want your thermostat and where you want the furnace to go. Because what you want to do with the furnace is you've got to drill through the wall. Oh, let me show you. So first thing you need to do is you need to drill through your wall to add your little exhaust port, which I have down there. And as you can kind of tell by the video, it's pretty dark in here, but you can see that I have the outside portion that comes on the camper, and that allows it to look finished, but then I also put a screen over it to keep the critter activity down and out of it. So now back into the shop. Once you have the exhaust all taken care of and you have probably what's going to be like the cabinet like I have here built, and keep in mind when you're doing the exhaust port, keep in mind that things get hot on this, so keep that in mind with insulation. But now what we need to do is we actually need to get some fuel to this thing. Get your fuel to here, as you can see right here. I have a 90-degree brass elbow with the yellow Teflon tape, and then I have just a rubber hose that runs down through here to the propane tank, to the regulator. Don't forget your regulator, to the 20-pound tank. Now let's talk my least favorite thing about this, which was the wiring. I had a lot of issues trying to figure out how to wire it up, because you have to wire the thermostat in with the power and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to go in detail because I don't want to screw anything up for you. So if you don't know how to do that, maybe don't do it or have somebody else. But I was able to figure it out. But the main thing is with your power is you can do two different things. You can run it off of a 12-volt battery and then keep the battery charged, or you can do what I did, and I bought a inverter from 110 down to the 12 volt for the furnace, and I got that off Amazon. I'll actually link that down below, the one I bought, because I bought a couple different ones because I couldn't figure out the right one to make it work. But I'll show you how, kind of what I did. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to burn your house down. Back to this angle again, so you can kind of see all my wiring here. I do try to keep this thing remotely clean. Being a wood shop, I do blow it out before I use it yearly, but this is what happens. So you can see I got thermostat wires, everything's just together here. And then up here I have the converter that runs down inside the thing, and then I just plug that in right up here. So now you got your fuel, which is your propane, you have your exhaust, which runs through the wall, and you have your power, which is that 110 to 12 volt conversion power. Now all you need left is a switch, and that is going to be your thermostat. That's why I said you got to get one with a thermostat. Now, I've found out that you can't just buy like a house thermostat for an RV, so I just went on Amazon. I got this digital RV thermostat, and it works really well. I'll actually link that also down below. Everything I got either at Menards or Amazon, but that's really it. Like, that's how simple it is to work. It did take me a few test drives there with the electrical because I didn't pull it myself. Had I pulled it myself or was just a little more knowledgeable in electricity stuff, it would have been a lot easier, but I got it to work it didn't take very long, is what I'm going to say. So now that you know how to do it, and how to set it up, let me kind of talk you through some things that I've learned and all that. Let me quickly talk to you about some safety. So first of all, I'm running propane inside this little space, so I have a carbon monoxide alarm right underneath the thermostat. It's never went off. I'm assuming it works, but I put that in there just for a little peace of mind. And then also, like I said, I do blow that thing out with compressed air before I turn it on every season. I haven't had any issues, and like I've had this thing for 2 years. I haven't had any issues with any fires or anything like that. So now let's talk my particular setup and how I have it. So like I said, I still run the torpedo heater, and I run it off of the same tank. As you can see, I have a splitter right here that lets me run both of them. With both of them have regulators. I can run both of these units at the same time if I wanted. But I only run really the torpedo heater right when I get out into the shop, because when I come out into the shop, and it's like right now the end of January, today when I came out it was 28 degrees inside the shop. I don't want to work in that, and I also don't want it to take forever to heat up, because the RV furnace will heat the shop up. I actually just ran the furnace to bring me up to 50 degrees, and it took about an hour. So it will do it, but if you use a torpedo heater like I do, my shop is at 50 degrees in about 8 minutes, and then I turn that off, and then I just maintain with the RV furnace. And it's a lot nicer to have the furnace like that, because it kicks on with the thermostat, so you're not fighting and playing with it all the time. It has an exhaust, so you don't smell like burning propane like you do from the torpedo heater. It's a lot quieter than the torpedo heater, and the open flame is contained inside the unit compared to blowing out when you're building and doing stuff. Alright, what would I change about my setup? So the one thing I would change is the location of the thermostat. I have it against this back wall over here, and then the service store that I go out is on the opposite side of the wall, so I have to go turn that off and then walk over and not forget before I leave the shop. If I had it closer to the light switches, I'd be more apt to remember to shut it off, because I'm always afraid that I'm going to forget. You can get around that by just wiring it up to your lights, and that way if your lights are off, it shuts the furnace down. What I want to do is I do want to get an RV smart thermostat. I think that would be way cooler to have. That way I could control it with my phone, turn it on before I want to come out, make sure it's set a runtime. Anyways, those are the things that I would change. That's it. Alright, I know this video is really wordy and there's not much going on, so I just want to blow through this real quick, so just keep you from being too bored. But I wanted to finish off with a couple of things. One, my workshop is 14 feet wide, 20 feet long, 8 feet tall. I have it completely insulated with an R value of 13. The garage door is insulated. The service door is insulated. Do not have windows. I have a wood floor, not a cement floor. And I run about 2 20-pound tanks a year. I'm out in the shop, we'll say 6 hours a week. And I keep it at 55 degrees when I'm out here. So that gives you the specifics on what I use for that. Now, when you're in a small setting like I am, obviously a wood stove's not going to work. I don't have the overhead spot for the big electric blower furnace. So the RV furnace really was the simple solution for me. Now, let's talk about money here. Like, how much did all of that cost for me? I already had the torpedo heater. That's also really irrelevant, because maybe you don't want to use the torpedo heater. Maybe you're fine with the RV furnace, just letting that build up. So I bought my RV furnace off Marketplace. Now, I had no guarantee that it was going to run. All the wires were just chopped, and it was just basically figure it out yourself. So if you can get it where you pull it yourself, like I said, you'll be in a much better situation. But that cost me $40 a couple of years ago. I saw them on there ranging from less than $40 up to a couple of $100. If you can find a buddy who's maybe their pop-up got eaten by mice and you can get the furnace out, you're golden. But with the $40 on that furnace, with the converter, the thermostat wire, the plumbing for the propane, and the regulator, I'm just over $100 into this thing. And I'm very comfortable in the shop all year long now. So, like I said, I know this was a little wordy. Thanks if you made it this far, thanks. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you can use this in your small shop. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one.